I'm making this video for the first timers and beginners who want to ski on Happo One. I'll be showing you the beginner areas, the level you need to be before progressing onto harder runs, the runs themselves, and the no-go areas. So you're probably thinking, why listen to me, some random Joe Schmo on the internet? Well, I've actually had 14 seasons teaching in Shirakaba, 8 of which are on Happo One. I've taught on all mountains here, I've actually been featured on Jerry of the Day, and I've probably crashed more times than you've had hot dinners.
So sit back, grab a cup of tea and roll the tape.
Here's the trail map of Happo One. Now when you look on the map you see there are green runs running all over the mountain. It might look like some kind of beginner's paradise, but sadly you couldn't be further from the truth. The green dotted lines you see are not really beginner runs, but are more similar to the European Blue Run. Most are narrow and can be quite steep in parts. Don't worry though, I'll show all the green runs later. As a first timer you should actually be looking to get lessons. Now for whatever reason, if you're unable to get lessons, maybe you can't afford it or the ski school is full, then you should try and follow this video. I've circled 4 areas on the map numbered 1 to 4. These are the beginner areas I'd recommend first timers to use. Numbers 1 to 3 are located at the bottom of the mountain. Number 4 is at the top of the mountain. This is the place you would use when there isn't any snow at the bottom. Let's start off with area number 1, which is my favourite starting location for beginners. It's located between 2 lifts, the Sakka quad you can see in front and the Sakka 3 lift on the left hand side. The reason this area is so good is it has a nice flat area where you can practice a lot of your flatland exercises. It's got a gentle run just in front of us. There's very little traffic and the ski schools don't use this area very often. It's actually quite near a cafeteria with toilets. There's a lift ticket office nearby and you can actually ski down to the Sakka 2 lift, which is the big bonus. You can see the Sakka 4 lift on my right. Just to get to the beginner area you go past it, walk down maybe 30-40 meters, and just on your right hand side this is the area I was talking about. Once you've done the progression, which I'll get to later in the video, to get to the beginner lift just follow this run. That's the Sakka 3 chairlift on the right. The green run is quite advanced from that lift. Use this run as a bit of a test. If you're unable to do this run without falling over, I'd recommend just taking your skis off, walking back up the hill to the same spot and trying again. Let's go to area number 2 on the map. This is my second favourite place for beginners to learn. It would be my favourite, but the only problem is it's located next to the biggest ski school in Shirakaba, the Evergreen International Ski School. Now nothing bad to say about the ski school, but it drives a lot of traffic to this spot, so you'll be fighting with other people for places to practice on. As long as you're here before 9:30, there shouldn't be too many people around. There's some nice flat areas to practice, there's a gentle slope, there's a cafe, toilets, there's a lift ticket office, and every now and then you'll see some spectators on the side monkeying around. Here's another view of the beginner area. You can see the Kokusai 1 chairlift on the right, and in front of us here you see the ticket office. Once you're done with this area, follow this road to the Sakka 2 chairlift. This also leads to my third beginner area. That's the Sakka 2 chairlift. Let's go to the third beginner area located at the bottom of the Sakka 2 chairlift. Now it does have a nice gentle slope which is great. The only problem is there aren't many flat areas around. It does get busy from the ski school. There's no cafeteria or lift ticket office, so if you do plan on using the lift, make sure you get a ticket beforehand. There are toilets here, but they are portaloos, so they can get quite dirty inside. I'll save area number 4 for the end of the video since most people won't be needing it. From this point on I'm going to be showing you a progression you can use to get to a level to use a chairlift. This is not a video on how to ski. There are many videos on YouTube which will show you that. It's to show you visually what you need to be able to do to move on to more advanced terrain. Find a nice flat area and you want to be working on your snowplow to start off with. You can see Henry doing that here. You want to push out both feet evenly. That's pretty good for Henry. Now he's just showing off. Once you can do a good snowplow, you want to hike up the hill by doing something called sidestepping. You can see me doing that just here. This is actually exhausting, but you got to do it. It's the only way up the mountain. Once you're at the hill, you want to glide down in that snowplow. You make it slightly bigger, you notice you'll come to a stop. Once you've done that a few times, you want to start gliding down and making what we call a J turn. So you can see Henry turn to the left. You want to be able to do that both ways. So here's Henry doing one to the right side as well. And once you're comfortable doing both sides, then you want to start linking them together just like Mike is doing here. Just small snowplow wiggles. Once you get better, see if you can start turning them even more across the hill. The idea is you want to get them to the point where you're slowing yourself down by going across the hill as opposed to your skis pointing down the hill and speeding up. Here's Henry showing us another good example of snowplow turns. Notice how he's linking his turns together and he's keeping his speed quite consistent. This speed is actually quite fast, so don't worry if you're not going this fast down the run. But the idea is that you want your turns to be going across the full line so you can slow yourself down. No need to stress if your snowplow turns don't look too pretty. We're not trying to win beauty contests like Henry. As long as you're able to maintain a slow, consistent speed, you can change direction if needed. For example, if someone gets in your way and you feel in control, then you're ready for the next step, which is moving up onto the lift. Sidestepping up the hill non-stop can be exhausting, so I recommend every now and then just popping your skis off, as you can see Henry doing here, putting your skis together and actually walking up the hill. As long as you've got a flat area at the top to put your skis back on, it makes it much easier for you. Getting to the point where you can do snowplow turns which are adequate for the Sakka 2 chairlift can take anywhere between 1 hour and a whole day. As a beginner, you'll look something like this. When you're doing a snowplow or turning to the right, make sure you're keeping your weight on your left leg by leaning down the hill, as this run is sloped towards the trees. When it gets narrower, don't worry too much about turning, you just want to make it down the run in one piece. Mike's doing a great example of that right here. Good job, Mike. So from here you want to ride the Sakka 2 chairlift, which you can see in the picture. Once you're on the chairlift, enjoy the ride. Maybe you can scope out the terrain on the left, which is where you'll be skiing down. At the top of the lift you want to head to the left. This is a much easier side to ski. So I'm at the top of the Sakka 2 run here. From the video it doesn't look very steep, but I'm just telling you now, as a first run this is actually quite a steep run. So you want to take it slow and steady. Use a big snowplow to control your speed. If you can, try and make a snowplow turn across the hill, but on your first run this might be quite difficult to do. If you find yourself going straight down the hill in a big snowplow, as long as you're in control of your speed, that is okay. The aim is to get down this first section in one piece, which is the steeper part. Once you reach the trees, you want to make a big traverse across the hill towards that white building you see over there. To aid with this, you want to have 80 to 90% of your weight on your left leg as you're traversing across. If you get too much weight on your right leg or your uphill ski, you'll end up turning your skis down the hill and you'll start speeding up. If this does happen and you lose control of your speed, it is okay just to fall over on the snow. From this point on, the run gets a lot gentler, so the idea now is just to get as much mileage in your snowplow as possible. Once you're feeling confident, then start throwing a few more turns in. The run is pretty straightforward from here, so I'm just going to skip to the end. Congratulations on finishing your first run. You might notice your legs are a little bit tired as you probably tense while you're skiing down. It might be a good idea to rest your legs a little bit before you head up the lift for round 2. From this point on you want to spend the next few runs consolidating your snowplow turns. You want to make sure you're getting your skis across the hill, you're maintaining a consistent speed and you're feeling control. You can see here Maki really exaggerating the movements to balance over the outside ski. Doing this makes it easier to turn across the full line. Getting to this level could take you one day to several days. After a few runs you should feel more confident doing snowplow turns. That's when you want to make your snowplow a bit smaller and start to up the speed. You can see Henry and Maki doing that here. From this point on you've got a few different options. You can stay on Sakka 2 to work towards parallel, or you can head up the mountain to discover new runs. As most of the green runs up the mountain are so narrow, Sakka 2 and Sakka 3 are the only viable places where you can work towards parallel. From this point on I'm going to be showing you all of the green runs on the mountain and parts to watch out for. I'm going to start off with the Sakka 3 run, which is located near Sakka 2. In the video you'll see me starting off at the top of the Sakka 2 chairlift. Instead of going left I've actually gone off to the right, and then when you're going to go down the hill, instead of going down the Sakka 2 run, you take a left and you will be on Sakka 3. Now if you're able to ski Sakka 2 comfortably, this run should be no problem for you at all. The only small issue with Sakka 3 is the fall line isn't as good as the Sakka 2 run that you've just been doing. This course is also quite obvious, so I'll just skip to the end of the run. On the right you can see the Sakka 3 chairlift. On the left you can see the Sakka 4 or Sakka quad chairlift that heads right up the mountain. I'm at the top of the Sakka 3 chairlift here. I want to show you a spot that's on the side of the Sakka 3 run which is really fun. When I used to teach on this mountain, kids loved going through this area. The only thing is, it's not groomed like the runs that you've been doing so far, and actually that's what makes it so much fun, as there are many bumps and jumps and going under the trees and things of that sort you can do around here. One thing to keep in mind, the snow conditions are very important. If it's icy, I would actually avoid going through here. Here's another video of me going through the same spot, but this time I'm actually going into the trees. When you first go into the trees, make sure you're doing a big snowplow and taking it slow. In the video I'm going way too fast for this run. A little tip to keep in mind when you're skiing through the trees is don't look at the trees themselves, but look at where you want to be going. You can see there are two sets of trees, just be careful of other people as you cross the run here. As we enter into these trees, don't go too far right, as there is actually a creek running underneath normally. Now this year, there's plenty of snow so there's no issues, but you could be watching this video in 2034 when there isn't very much snow. As I'm coming to the end of these trees, you see a little gully to the right. That is normally where the creek is running. Once you pop out the trees, you'll see the Sakka 2 chairlift in the distance. The next chair you can take in this area is the Sakka 4 chairlift, which you can see being highlighted here. This lift will take you right up the mountain, and it is quite the adventure. For 90% of the run, it's very gentle. However, the run itself is very narrow, has steep drop-offs on the side, and the ending is also very steep. If you're the type to get easily scared, I would hold off from this run for now. We're at the top of the Sakka 4 chairlift here. When you get off, make sure to get off to the left, and you head between those two buildings. From here the course is pretty straightforward, you just follow the windy run down the mountain. Here, just make sure you stay to the right. On a normal season you can head left here, but due to avalanche risks, this run was closed today. Most people going down the Happo Cat Track will go this way. However, it's very steep at the end. There is actually no easy way down the mountain from this point. If you do go left, you'll end up near the top of the Sakka 3 chairlift. I think both ways from here are as hard as each other. I'm going to the right. This way is also steep, but you have a little bit more room to play around with. Once you make it down this first pitch, then it's not too tricky from this point onwards. Make sure you take a left here to get back to the Sakka 2 area. The next run I'll be moving on to is the Skyline Cat Track. You can see me highlighting the Skyline chairlift here. And here's the run being outlined. To get to the Skyline chairlift, you do the Sakka 4 run as shown before, and just go to the chairlift you see in front of us in the video. This is another long narrow run. It's actually easier than the Sakka 4 Cat Track and has even better views. The only issue is it gets too flat in parts, so you may have to push yourself along sometimes. At the top, make sure you take a left. From here it's a pretty straightforward run. Just be careful when the run crosses over the other course that you're watching out for other people. I'll be clipping parts to make the viewing experience a bit better. As you cross this run, make sure you keep to the left. On foggy days it can be hard to stay on course. distance you can see where the track heads around. That's the way I'd recommend. However, you can take a left here, which will take you to the top of the Sakka 4 chairlift. I do not recommend this as the course gets a little steep and it's cambered to one side. From here it joins back onto the Sakka 4 Cat Track. Let's go to a different section of the mountain now. We're going to be looking at the Women's Downhill Olympic Course 2 Cat Track, but first we have to get to the lift that takes us there. We're going to head to the bottom of the Kokusai One chairlift following this route. To get there from the Sakka 2 chairlift, you turn left and then traverse right across the flat section. This run can be tricky to start off with. It gets a little steep, narrow with high traffic which can lead to icy conditions. If you can handle the steep section at the bottom of the Sakka 4 course, you should have no problems. One Australian guest I had likened this run to the Hellfire Pass. On the left you can see the Evergreen Magic Carpet, and the green building is the Evergreen Ski School office and meeting area. This was also my second recommended beginner area. You can see the Kokusai One chairlift just to the left, which is what we're going to be riding. Okay, so on to the Women's Downhill Cat Track. This one is quite advanced in terms of beginner runs. As mentioned many other times, it's narrow and has steep drop-offs, but also there are a few more steep narrow sections so it can get icier on busy days. You've got to have a decent snowplow to be confident on this run. At the top of the Kokusai 1 chairlift, take a right. Go round the Kokusai 3 chairlift and also around the Panorama Cafe. It's really flat so you'll have to push yourself most of the way to the start. The first half of the course isn't too bad. The last few switchbacks where you have to be careful and take it slow. There's only one way down the mountain from here, so enjoy the ride. You can see I'm doing a few shortcuts here. If you're feeling a bit spicy, you should give them a go as well. It's from here that the course gets quite steep. Take it slow around this bend. You'll see I'll pass a few beginners here. This is closer to what you would look like going down this ramp. Here the run joins with the Sakka 4 Cat Track, coming in from the left. If you're not fed up of narrow cat tracks yet, then you're in luck. There is still one more accessible track up the mountain, but to get there it's best taking the gondola. Let's look at the run which will take us there. Be warned though, you will have to do your first official red run to get there. Start the same as if you're going to the Kokusai 1 chairlift. Instead of going left to the lift, you stay right and go through the trees. Keep as much speed as you can here because it gets really flat. It opens up into the Shirakaba area which has a green run. I'll be covering this run later on. The red run is quite short so you don't have to enjoy the pain for too long. From here on it's the steeper section. Try to traverse as far as you can before making a turn. That will limit the amount of turns you have to do on the steeper terrain. Congratulations on finishing your first red run. You can see the gondola station just in front of us. Up the gondola we go. You should have no issues with this run if you made it to the gondola station. For the first timers who started at the top of the gondola station, this will be your first run. Where all these people are standing, this is the exit of the gondola. Put your skis on here, and then head down the hill and turn to the left. Make sure you cross above the Panorama chairlift, and you're watching out for people getting off as well. There are two forks in the track to watch out for. I'll slow the video down at both of those points. If this is your first run from the beginner area, take this corner really wide on the left side. This first section may be the most challenging part. Make sure you take a left here. Turning right will take you onto the main Panorama red run. Your run's going smoothly and then you get to this point. It's very steep. No worries though, just turn back around to your left and you'll see the track. Happy days. If you want to do the same run, jump on the lift. If you want to continue down the mountain, turn left to the women's downhill cat track. Before we move on, I'll show you the steep section we skipped earlier. This is also a green run, but it's very difficult. Early season, the easier way down is sometimes closed, so you may be forced to do this bit. If you manage to snowplow every run so far in the video, I bestow on you the Snowplow Mastery Red Belt. Sadly though, all good things must come to an end. Let's move towards parallel. Let's go back to our old favourite, the Sakka 2 area. To recap, you can do turns with a small snowplow going relatively fast. From here you'll want to try to match your skis as you turn across the hill. Start your turn off with a small snowplow. With about 80% of your body weight on your outside ski, or in this case your right leg, slide your other ski into match. You can see Henry doing that right here. You want to get used to both your skis travelling in the same direction on the same edges. It's easiest to do that in a traverse or between your turns. As you get more and more comfortable, try and match your skis earlier and earlier in the turn. Eventually you'll just have a small snowplow at the start of your turn. To help eliminate that, try to start without pushing your foot out to the side. You'll feel like your skis are turning more underneath your body. To get to parallel, it could take you 2 days or 2 months. Often it depends on how confident you are. Some people are scared to lose the snowplow at the start of their turn and never get rid of the training wheels. Once you can do parallel around most of your turn, here are a few green runs I will recommend. This is the Shirakaba 2 Chairlift and Run. Personally, I would bring people here once they were confident on Sakka 2 and mostly parallel. This run is very straightforward, just take a right at the top of the lift. The next spot is the Nakiyama 2 area. To be honest, I rarely use this spot. It's awkward to get to, and Shirakaba is less steep. To get there, go towards the Gondola station and then take the Shirakaba 1 pair lift. At the top, take a left. You can see me going from the Shirakaba 2 to the Shirakaba 1 pair lift. That's the Shirakaba 1 chairlift. Make sure to go to the left at the top. Sorry, I don't have any footage getting to the run. This is the top of the Nakiyama 2 chairlift. If you want to take it easy down this run, go to as far as the skier's left as possible. That's the Nakiyama 2 chairlift. A bit further along and you can end up going to the Nakiyama 3 lift. That's the Nakiyama 2 on the right, and that's the Nakiyama 3 right in front of us. To get up the mountain from here, take the Nakiyama 3 chair and then the reason chairlift. That will take you to the top of the Gondola station. To get here, you will have to use the gondola in the early and late season. If you want a few more useful ski tips, go back to the progression part of the video and apply it to this beginner area. This part is for the first times who start at the top of the mountain. The progression to your first run is actually easier up here. To get to the beginner area, go left at the exit and walk up and above the building. It's a bit of a walk, so consider it your warm-up. This is the beginner area. Here's another view. You want to be able to make small direction changes before heading down the panorama track. More importantly though, you need a big, solid snowplow. Your turns initially aren't as important. This snowplow you see Mike doing here is what you need to be able to do. Notice how slow he's going. If you're able to ski down to the exit of the gondola building in control, you're ready for the run. In the video, go and search for the Panorama Cat Track. That'll be your first run you would do from the Gondola Station beginner area. I would like to say there is actually a magic carpet at the Nakiyama area, and a few people are probably wondering why I haven't mentioned it yet. First of all, anyone, even adults, can use it. It's a blanket rate of 1500 yen for age 3 and older. There are a few problems. It's not very steep, so it won't prepare you well for the green runs in Happo, and it's not located near Sakka, which is the easiest area to do your first runs. The Nakiyama 2 chairlift, which is nearby, is just way too steep. There is one run on the whole mountain I wouldn't even recommend to my worst enemies. It's a little disingenuous since the green run merges into a red run. Even intermediates can struggle here.
We're here?
Yeah.
There's a nice beginner run just over here. Let's go and have a look. Oh my god, look at this. How steep is this, Mike?
Red run.
You heard it here first.